All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to our monthly SBDM webinars. So we're going to talk about a handful of topics today, including staffing allocation, virtual experience member training, election procedures, and an increase in fingerprinting fees. First, Ruth, Natasha, and I want to thank you so much for joining us at the SBDM endorsement training last month. If you did attend, you should have received a follow-up email from me with the ELA and the frequently asked questions that we collected across those 3 trainings. If you did attend and did not get an email with those attachments, please send me an email so that I can send you along all that information. And we looked at the feedback and we found that you guys really enjoyed the ClassPoint app, so we will definitely be utilizing that in the future. The legislative updates with additional guidance forthcoming, and also the ability for this upcoming data verification to upload at the district level. Also, based on that feedback that we received from that verification form, we are going to consider adding a in-person option for next year's annual training. If you were not able to attend, please reach out to me so I can provide you with information regarding our makeup session that is currently scheduled for April 20th from 10 to 1. And if you are new to this role, we are going to be offering a more in-depth training. It's our new coordinator training, and that is currently scheduled for May 23rd at 9:30 Eastern Time. And I will be sharing registration for that webinar soon. All right, council should be receiving their final staffing allocations by May 1st. If your district plans on revising its staffing allocation formula, you'll have to send that along to KDE for a review, and you can just go ahead and send that staffing allocation to me, and I can get that process started. I also wanted to talk briefly about the different sections of the regulation and the fundings. So Section 4 is for certified staff, and that is based on the equivalent enrollment for the upcoming school year, the projected full-time enrollment. Apologies. Section 6 funds are other minimum allocation, and that is based on the average daily attendance from whatever year you used for your base funding, whether it was 1819 or 1920. And Section 7 is that distribution of the balance, and that is also based on whatever year you used for your base funding. At the endorsement training, we referred to our staffing allocation worksheet pilot that we're going to be starting. It's going to contain statutory and regulatory references and terminology, as well as calculate that 150 per pupil hour for grades 7 through 12. And because we are currently in the staffing allocation season, we will not be running that pilot until after the final allocations are due, just so we don't cause confusion amongst the districts. And then once this document is released, we are also going to share training and guidance on how to use the worksheet most effectively. Any questions on what we covered as far as staffing allocations? The KDE is also going to be hosting a virtual experienced member training. It's going to be over 2 days, and it's going to last an hour and a half for each day. And the participants will have to attend both days to receive credit. It is going to be on the module, the council's role for continuous improvement. The current days that are scheduled are June 20th and 21st from 10:30 to 11:30 Eastern. So if you have any council members who are interested in attending this virtual training, please share this Google form that's linked to that's linked inside the PowerPoint that you guys should have received a couple days ago. All right, it is currently election season, so we're briefly going to talk about the election procedures. Teachers, right? So when we're talking about teachers, elections, they are elected by a majority vote, and that is half plus one. So that includes itinerant, part-time, counselors, and media specialists. They are all people who are eligible to serve as teacher representatives and vote. Parents are elected by a plurality vote, right? And all that means is just the person whoever receives the most votes. Eligible parents have to have students enrolled or pre-enrolled in the school for the year which they will be serving on council. And parent, as defined in statute, is a biological parent, a step parent, a foster parent, or a person with legal custody with whom the student resides. Minority representation is required when a school has 8% or more student minority population. And you can use the KDE's SAR or the internal data of enrollment based on this previous October, so it would be October 1st, 2022. If you would like more information regarding minority representative special elections, you can access the SBDM handbook, which contains a frequently asked questions and a flowchart, or you can always reach out to me and I'm happy to help. And because we are currently in the 21st century, electronic elections are permissible. And you can find more guidance as far as electronic elections on the SBDM election guidance document. And you can find that on our SBDM technical page. Additionally, the KDE and the Office of Educational Accountability recommends that councils remove election procedures for teachers and parents from their bylaws, right? And this is just because those elections are conducted by those groups, so they should establish their own written election procedures. And one way to think about whether your the election procedures are robust are thinking about whether they can answer these questions. So when and how candidates are nominated, who prepares the ballots, when, where, and how parents and teachers can vote, voting schedule and process, and when and where runoffs would be held. Any questions on elections, election procedures, minority special elections? On April 5th, the fee for Identico fingerprinting increased from $18 to $20. And this may impact local budgets, so we just wanted to share this with you all as an FYI. If you want more information or have questions, you can email the Kentucky State Police at the email that's listed, ksp.backgroundchecks@ky.gov. Any questions that I can try to answer regarding that?
I do have a question, Mia.
Yes.
So is that the volunteer background check?
Yeah, so that it's all backgrounds.
So sorry. So for our parent SBDM members, they don't have to have the $40 one? That's what we've been charging. Do they just have to have the volunteer background check?
You know what? Let me get clarification on that, and I will send out what I learned.
I hope it's the $18 one. That would be phenomenal.
That would be ideal, right?
Yes.
Mia, I think they also require the CAN check, don't they?
Yeah, so this is in addition. There's 2 background checks that are run.
Correct.
So is the fingerprinting check that you're referring to, is that alone $40?
It's they have to do the CAN check, and then the Identigo is the background check. We have them do both, but we have been doing not the one for the employee, but the volunteer, which is $40-something a piece. Thank you for looking into that.
Yeah, absolutely. I wrote down the question, and I will share the results, what I find out when I send the recording out to everyone in a couple days.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other questions that I may have to write down to get clarification on? All right, other than that, we have reached the end of our day together. I can't. Let me go ahead and add the verification form into the chat so you all can log in. Where'd you go? There we go. All right, other than that, you all are good to go. Have a wonderful day. Feel free to stick around and ask any questions. And yeah, I'll see you next month.